Well, looks like I see that little button up there, that little red button.
Yeah, are we on the air? That's from the Chappelle show. I forget which
Oh,
company that is.
oh, well, I'm assuming anytime I see on air that
Yeah, no, that's a. I think that's a fair assumption.
you're not kidding me or anything like that. So, I'm glad that we are here tonight for this special edition of Teagues Take. Hey, before we even get to going, just remember everybody go ahead and hit the subscribe button right now. You guys got time to do it. It's not very hard to do, right? A
Ooh,
little point,
I need to change that.
click. Oh no, well, that's pretty cool. I should do that again just for the hell of it because a lot of people don't get to see that. What's up, cuz? Monica in the house. Thank you guys for sitting in early and wanting to be a part of this because we got an action-packed show today.
I
So
know you have us. So the viewers don't know right now, but you have us scheduled to go 70 minutes, and you got the schedule for us, and we're already like a minute and a half late. And I don't know if you saw how many how many plays I put in the first in the first offensive cut up. We ain't 70 minutes is not long enough.
okay, you're probably right. I think we went 90 minutes last time. It just looks good when we put it 70. If we go over, we go over, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like we said before, we want everybody to see what we got going on. There's so much to talk about from the Alabama game. So let me tell you what we're really thinking about on the schedule that I put together. So first thing you're gonna do, JT, you do know it's 9/11. I got to hit my 9/11 run out first. Gonna do that first. All right. Then we'll come talk about the takeaways that we had from this last game against USF. Just talk about it first before we get into the film review, the look back. We'll do that. We got a lot of stuff. We'll try not to be too negative about it. I guess we'll make sure we put that disclaimer in there. It's really to teach is what we really want to do, and sometimes that means you got to show the not so good moments, even though we're a lot of good moments in there too, and we do have some of that
Yeah,
for you
and
as
I'll
well.
reiterate that once we get to the film.
Yes, because we don't want people thinking we're Alabama haters or something like that, or that we're just being overcritical. No, we're coaches, and we know football, and we know when things can get better. So it's our job to try to tell you how they can get better, and not just say, they can't block, they can't cover, or whatever it is. We want to talk about how we see them getting better and what the coaches are probably working on at this point to make that happen. All right. Then we're going to tell you, we'll go to segment two. We'll talk about what we expect from the Badgers, what that looks like, and actually show some film of them. So there's going to be a lot of film, particularly from the Alabama side, maybe less from Wisconsin, because, in my opinion, JT, Wisconsin kind of boring, but whatever. All right. So I'm going to say, if you're ready for it, JT, let's go ahead and get this party started right now. So this is the point where I get to my run out. And I want to remind everybody, I'm George Teague, a former Alabama and NFL football player, and I want to share a moment that profoundly impacted my life. So after the events of September 11th, 2001, we were all looking for ways to show our unity and patriotism. And I had the incredible honor to carry the flag, the American flag, onto the field during the game shortly after the attacks. Now, in that moment, as I stood with the flag in my hands, I felt a deep sense of responsibility and pride. It wasn't just a piece of fabric that I was carrying, it represented the resilience and strength of our nation. The roar of the crowd and the unity in the stadium, it was overwhelming. It was just a reminder that even in the face of tragedy, our country stands strong, united by shared values and hopes for a better future. So this experience taught me that symbols matter. They do make a difference. And sometimes even the simplest act can offer a profound sense of connection and healing. So if you're around me and you knew me well enough, you'll see that I love the United States flag. I have a humidor with the flag on it. I got keychains. I got wooden flags like you see this up here. Um, just all kind of stuff. So I just don't want you to ever forget about 9/11. Okay. Thank you. And that's my run out. Now I want to go ahead and bring in my son, my co-host, the analytical one, the one who makes all this stuff happen for me. He's so smart. He's so brilliant. Um, he's a good coach. He's a great dad. He's a great son. He's a great pillar for the community. All that kind of stuff. JT, James Theo Teague.
Yeah, I
Welcome.
can give myself applause. I
Oh
think I can do
boy, you can. You can. Yeah. Okay. So, man, I just want to. I don't need you to really comment on that, but do you remember where you were? Everybody says they always remember what they were and what they were doing when 9/11 hit. You remember what
Well,
you
I
were
was
up to?
8. So I remember being in class, and I remember coming home. I didn't really understand what was going on, but I remember living in South Lake, and I remember kind of like standing on the balcony because my room was across the balcony from your mom's room at the time. I don't know why I remember that because it's not like we had like a TV in the hallway or anything, but I think that was probably the moment before I walked in to see like what happened on the TV in your room. Um, but I mean, I didn't really understand why they were sending all of us home from school at the time,
Mhm.
um, or anything like that. But I do remember those things.
Yes, sir. Okay. Well, what I want to say to everyone is one of the things. So, if you do ever happen to be on Millions and you're looking for jerseys and different things like that, you cannot find the picture of me carrying the flag on there. We'll tell you what everybody's going to be doing, so make sure you pay attention. If you're a Cowboys fan, you guys, typically during the football season, I like to put out something where we can raise money um, for our scholarship fund at the University of Alabama. So I'm going to have a Cowboy package that's going to include a signed picture of me carrying the flag, along with me hitting Terrell Owens, a, a bottle opener, and maybe some other things that you can donate to, and I'll send all these to you. So just be on the lookout for that via Twitter and other places that I will post that on, or X. I'm sorry, Instagram
It's still
and
Twitter.
Facebook. Yeah, it's still Twitter. Okay, so let's get into talking a little bit of football before we actually get in the film. Any real takeaways that you kind of saw just 20,000 foot above that you say, okay, this is what I know about our team right now?
Yeah. We're very young. We are very inexperienced. Um, and I think that is apparent. I think we've found clips that kind of show that. There are bright spots. It's not like, I'm not saying that we're a bad football team, but you can tell that there are a lot of young guys playing, uh, on both sides of the ball. And maybe I shouldn't say young, but there are also a lot of guys that just haven't had a lot of snaps in major college football games. Um, that will get better with time. It's not a thing where, let me put it this way. It's very tough. It takes a very special type of player to be a true freshman and start at a Power 5 team and not look like a true freshman who is starting for a Power 5 team.
Well, I'm going to start. I'm starting to laugh at that too because I remember watching the Miami Hurricanes first game, and they had a guy that's been playing for 9 years on their roster.
Mm-hmm.
9 years. I don't even know how the heck that happens. I know you get some
He
retro
had, I
years
think
and
he had,
COVID, and you got
yeah,
this
he
other
had his
stuff, but
COVID year and he broke his leg like 3 times. So he's got like 3 medical red shirts. But even
bro,
then, like he's been playing, or he's been on a college roster for 9 years, but I think he's only played like 13 games, something
yeah,
like
but
that.
just think of the age difference.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. Where ours is kind of skewed a little bit, even more when you got a 17-year-old wide receiver out there
Mm-hmm.
doing his thing. So, all right. So what I take from it, I think I feel like over the past two games we've actually started maybe a little bit slow. I think we need to start a little bit faster. That we're just kind of easing into it. I think we're gonna have to make sure we get a handle on the penalties. Those going to
Oh,
hurt
absolutely.
later on with that. But what I did like was the passion. I saw passion from Malachi Moore. Just trying to get people going. Whether you think they're yelling at them or they're fighting or something, I didn't see that. I saw encouragement. In kind of a tough way, and that they actually never gave up because you saw how they just took off when they finally got it all together and doing that. So we just got to be able to figure that out. We got to be able to figure out how to stop quarterbacks from running the ball uh, on us. Okay. Yes, there are some technical things, offensive line, defensive backs that we need to talk about. Right. So if you're ready to go, let's try to get into some of this film because I know we got a lot. I don't know how many clips that we actually pulled.
Yeah, well, there's 16 in this one right here.
Yeah.
My
So we
bad.
apologize. We won't try to. Well, maybe we hit them all.
Yeah, I think we
maybe
will.
not
A lot of them that I picked are to illustrate a point. It's not we have to dissect every play, but it's more of storytelling with a couple of plays. So
Yes.
just a reminder with everybody, this our film is brought to you by Blackfriar Pub. It's Bama's home in Dallas, down in downtown Dallas on McKinney Avenue. Are you having an event there, or am I?
No, you are absolutely correct. I will be at Blackfire Pub this Saturday. I'm going to be there about 9:30. Y'all need to come because Todd in Texas, who is another sponsor of ours, they connect. They are working together with Blackfire, and Todd in Texas is actually going to sponsor the tacos with Teague. So if you want some breakfast tacos, since the game starts early, you might want to get there a little bit early. They're going to be free, JT,
Wait, free tacos?
until we run out. So if you show up at 11, I promise you there ain't gonna be no more tacos when it gets ready to kick off. But there are going to be free breakfast tacos, and so you might want to make sure you head down there, come hang out, get a chat, talk some football, do whatever we want to do, and then watch us get into this game. If you want more information, just keep paying attention to the show or get to Tide Texas online. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll start because I think all of my plays are first here.
Okay, we'll see. I
So
don't know. I know this is the design play where both the guys go to the left. Is that what this is?
I want to go ahead and get to the end zone. Yeah, I mean, essentially, I was kind of looking at. Well, hold on. We got a Jackson Lindauer. Thank you, 49.9 super chat. It was good to see Malachi bring intensity out there when it was needed. Absolutely agree. I mean, you always need leaders, especially when things aren't particularly going your way. So I put this first clip on here because I don't know if you want to call it. I don't know if you want to call it power or counter, whatever. It's a GY pull, and Oots just misses here.
With both the
Both.
the pullers were even
Yes.
Jaden Robertson or Roberts. Yes.
So this is not what you want to see show up on film when you're just missing both. It makes it hard for the running back to actually figure out what his path is going to be, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just keep going because there's a couple of these like this.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 2 plays later. This is play number 9, or at least 2 offensive plays later, I should say. And again, it's not necessarily that we miss something here. It's just we end up pulling a guy and he ends up latched onto somebody who's already blocked.
Yes, I saw that because I didn't know if he should have, if they were actually going to try to, if he was just supposed to wrap and get number six,
Yeah,
wrap. What I mean, come
or if
on,
we're
or
supposed to come off here, if Booker's supposed to come off, and then we kick out the end. You know,
correct, correct. Which it looks like he wasn't supposed to block that defensive end. Look, Booker, I'm talking about.
right?
Um, so I don't know. There's a lot of communication involved with how DeBoer runs this offense. Um, so and when you have a 3-man front with stacked linebackers, it can get confusing. Joe Scott told us a lot about that
Right.
coaching with this
I'm actually
too.
gonna move this because that clip is not supposed to be until later, I believe. Yeah. Okay. So here's the back end of another one. So now we've got a different wing in here. It's number 80, and it kind of looks like he doesn't know where he's actually supposed to be going, because he kind of stops and taps this defensive tackle right here, and he's supposed to be kicking out number 4.
Which is basically the same play we just saw a minute ago, but Booker goes up to number 6 this time. Last
Right.
time he didn't.
Right. And now we just don't get anybody. We don't get anybody kicking out the end. And now this play is also ruined.
And probably if you kick out that end, Jalen Milroe runs right up inside
Uh-huh.
and is touchdown, even though he's kind of heading outside. I don't.
Yeah, they ran this play a little bit earlier, and they actually got this to Jeremy Bernard. Right here. Yeah,
Yes.
we threw it to him. It was going the other way. But again, a missed assignment that ends up in negative yards. And then we'll move number 11 back up. This, other than the hold, this is kind of what it's supposed to look like when you do it right. When you do it right and you get everybody picked up.
And I do want
hold
to.
anybody. But
Yep. I do remind you guys, if we're moving a little bit too fast or whatever, just raise your hand or whatever it is in chat and ask your question or something so we can make sure we address it, if need be. But like we said, we got a lot of stuff that we want to show you. So, and JT's the master at flipping these buttons back and forth, especially now that we got this new software over here that we can use. So, thank you once again.
My clips are a little bit out of order, so if I jump back to a previous point, it's really kind of just to drive it home. Now, this right here, this is play number 18. I think, yeah. This is a blown blitz pickup, okay? And we know we should be able to pick this up, right?
Easily.
Let's do a little bit of counting, right? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in pass pro for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what ends up happening is we get Formby here. We get a double team on the nose, which is fine. He's going to pick up the back. But then we don't get our head up.
Which one are you talking about? The running by, or are you talking about from the lineman?
From the lineman. We are focused on this guy and we don't see the crosser.
Yes.
Right? So now there's a free
You can always tell who missed it because when you look back, it's like punt. When you're on the punt team, and you look back to see if he blocked it.
You the first guy to turn around and you're like, oh, I don't know. What am I supposed to do now?
Yeah. So he should have came off. I know JT hadn't really said it, but Formby, they should have slid. Slid is not the right way. They should have passed.
Yeah, I mean, because number
Which
4 is like or is this 14? 14 has like truly left. Like he's crossed all the way over here.
And they're waiting
and
for him.
Formby doesn't even see he doesn't see 24 crossing back over here.
Look at Booker though. Booker wanted a piece of that action too, boy. He almost fell over getting ready to ear hold him. Kind of funny.
All right,
That's
moving
a
on.
great clip. That's a great clip because I think I'd actually picked that one as well too. Um, so JT and I don't really we kind of go through the film separately and then see how things match up. If you're just kind of wondering how we got to this kind of stuff, which I think is kind of
Yeah,
cool.
I
'Cause
was
then
actually
we're just,
telling Justin a little bit earlier today because he was asking for some clarification on what we were talking about, and I was like, honestly, I don't know because I don't know, I don't know what your clips are until like 2 minutes before show, and I actually haven't even seen them. I just know what play numbers they are, and I tack them on to the end, so I get to see them just like you guys get to see them when we get to them here. So I put this one on here again, not to pick on Formby. I mean, we all know how that went. We saw the PFF pass grade. It wasn't great. But when I was watching this clip, all I could think about was Jonathan Scott saying, "You block with your feet, not with your hands."
yes.
And the footwork here is not great. And I'm not good enough to tell you exactly what his steps should be and how he needs to fix it. I can't sit up here and tell you that. But I do think he probably oversets here a little bit. He's going out.
He needs to
His
go more
gap's getting
vertical.
wider.
He needs to go vertical
Right.
first, so he doesn't have
Straight
that.
back.
And then once you need to, the term that I've always been taught is the power down. So once a guy tries to go underneath, you need to stick that right foot in the ground and go straight sideways, which doesn't
Yep,
happen.
and he's
So
going backwards right
he
here.
go power down. He needs to go left quickly and very hard with it. But instead, there's one little piece, and that is probably be hard to stop. But he actually crosses over, which is the no. So he puts his right foot there. That it's over at that point. So his feet should always be apart, and that's why they call it a parallel down. So he should kick back. If I was standing up, I could show you, but his feet are like this, boom, 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 going back, and then they should go this way, not that
Much
way.
more almost robotic.
Yes. So that's kind of it on that. That's a technical deal. That's not necessarily an effort kind of deal, and that's why we want to make sure we know we're not pointing fingers at something. This is just something that he's going to have to keep working on because he kind of did it almost again.
So then,
this one,
very next play. The very next play. Again, we're looking at the box here. We got 6 guys in protection, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 potential rushers. Right? I don't know who they called the mic, but it's probably like they're probably going to treat that guy as an end. They're going to treat him as a nose, obviously. Probably treat this one as an end. And then either these two or
for the lineman.
Yeah, or these two for the lineman. The back is going to end up picking up probably this guy or that guy. So if we kind of let this run a little bit, you can see they're starting to communicate. They're pointing at people. They're identifying the mic. Booker pointing at this guy. So they're probably saying, we're taking these 5.
Those 5. Yep.
And
Well, you see,
seems like a little confusion. So now they start to point this way, which means to me, again, I'm still guessing they're probably going to slide. And now they're saying, okay, never mind. I'm going to slide out to him. I'm going to slide here, slide here, slide here, slide here. You've got that guy.
Correct.
If they all go. Okay. Now we snap. 2 guys drop out. Here is the extra rusher.
Everybody turn left except for the guy on the right.
Right. Which I think ends up being okay. We've got basically a full slide this way. Look at that arrow. That one was pretty good with the mouse. We got a full slide this way. 2 guys are out here dropping out. I see, like I'm talking about my arrows and now they suck. But we've picked up this group. We picked up this guy. The back has 1 guy that's coming in now. And what happens? I don't really know why he stepped in here like this, right? And I think people look at this and they say, Formby, what's going on? I don't think this was Formby's fault.
Right.
I think this
Now,
is on the back.
it's going to be hard on him to the back with the kick set of the, because he's either got to go, the running back I'm talking about either has to go outside of Formby, but you don't know that guy's going to make. Initially, you don't know that guy's coming unless his eyes are up. He should see it, and I think you would assume as a running back. I don't know. You play running back. Do you go outside knowing that the guy might take an inside charge if the defensive end stays up the field? You got. I'm asking you as an athlete at this point. What should 2-6? I'm agreeing with you, but
yeah. So Jason Lindauer says the edge is collapsing inside so quick, so I can see why Jam thinks he may need to pick it up. I can agree with this. I can understand. If he said this to me in a film session, I would say, okay, yeah, I get it, but that's your guy. So even once you step in here, like you've got to do everything in your power to wall this dude off. And I think that once we get here, like we're not able to help anymore.
Correct. I mean, you see, it's the same thing too. You see him kind of look back. You see Jam turn. It's so funny. The coaching points when you see after the guy runs past both of them, the blitzer, you can see Jam kind of look like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay, there's a couple of questions here. If you know a guy is struggling with one-on-one pass pro, why not try and slide his way more? In this particular instance right here, you can't slide away from. So again, let's give the pre-snap look. We can't slide this way because the back is over here. I mean, I guess you could. I mean,
you could. The back just has to go. The back would just have to go across his face to the other side.
Right. So I mean, there's nothing that says you can't, but I kind of feel like at this level, you're like, hey man, like we're gonna our rules of pass pro dictate that we're gonna slide to the strength and just.
Well, there's more guys over there. So look, because the other guys are not in the box and in the screen. So they're not counting that blitzing safety necessarily because he's actually lined up on the slot. Is that what happens? That's the slot?
Yeah.
DB. So
yeah, he's right here.
At this point, yeah. And then they got the other guy dropping out to replace him. So he's not counted in the box.
Right.
Originally.
Other question from Lumpy Diz. Shouldn't the receivers be aware of the blitz and adjust their route? Okay. In some cases, yes. So I did play some receiver in college. We did have to know, if you were the J-back, you had to know whether you were hot or not. But that usually meant that you were in the pass pro in some case, right? You're usually not one of these guys. However, I did not show you the scoreboard angle. It is 2nd and 20. So in this case,
deeper routes.
Right. Deeper routes, and we're not hot. There's
no you got enough blockers for
right.
all of them.
You have 6 guys for 6 guys, and 2 of them drop out. There is no hot route here. There's no reason to actually audible or change your route to a hot route because we have enough in pass pro. You would usually hot if they're bringing 7 and you've got 1 extra because the quarterback is responsible for one of those blitzers, but that's not the case here. Keith Holcomb asks, does Milroe set the protection or the center? It looks like in this case,
Milroe ended up but if you go back to the other one, you can go. And the only reason I'm saying this only because at the end,
You think
first
he changed
Milroe's
it?
going to the right, and then he starts after they reset. You'll see him actually start going pointing left. I don't know what he's saying,
Yeah,
but
I see.
he's
And
telling them go
yeah,
left,
he's
go
overriding his
left.
protection. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
yeah, that's fair. I think that's a fair question.
it is. Now that hurts too. I don't even know. I'm sitting here thinking about that, JT, and you have to give me the clarification, or someone needs to give me the clarification on the hits on the quarterbacks in the leg in college. I get so confused with the pros and is
I
that
was thinking about that
a
too.
penalty or
And I
not?
actually, because of the Wisconsin film, like the guy got knocked on the ground and basically crawled and just grabbed South Dakota's quarterback's leg, and I was like, wait, I thought you couldn't do that, but maybe it's just in the pros. I don't know. I guess we'll have to
Yeah, I
check
got
that
to
out.
study up on that because I heard him a little bit. Okay, on to the next or whatever
Yeah.
your next talking point anyway.
Keith Holcomb says, shouldn't Jam have been on the other side there? I'm gonna say no because
Yeah.
they changed their protection to slide left. So um, I think we're fine there. All right. So this again, the very next play. This is play 25.
They're
Let's
making their adjustments again. Oh
right,
no.
and now we pick it up. Right
Okay.
now it's good, except for
Remind me. I'm gonna let you say what you're gonna say because I know I put this play in there
yeah,
too.
you did.
Okay.
Except for just getting absolutely slaughtered on the outside here. Right.
It's a whiff. So technically, we want to talk about that too again. If you were actually went to the second play of the game, which I think I have
Okay.
on
Yeah,
there
I can jump
somewhere.
down. Here we go.
Um, so if you watch Formby's technique, I kind of highlighted both of those guys so you can see the difference. Really, just to see on if you're keeping your head in or out, and the differences between the two. So let's just look at the right tackle, Formby on this initial start. Yes, that he lunges right, and he drops his head. JT was talking about that with us via text. He already dropped it. Now this is a run, but he already started doing that, right? You can see from Booker the aggressiveness that he actually had on this play. He actually tried to hurt this dude, bro. I'm not literally like trying to break him, but you can see the physicality,
Mm-hmm.
right? So earlier you see where Formby loses his man because his head drops. It's subtle, but you see there at the end. So the next play after this one is when I think people are already looking in the box and they're saying, "Okay, if this guy's going to drop his head, you'll see what actually happens to Formby on this." And this is my highlight circle. You like my little circle, right?
Yep, I do. It makes it so much easier for me.
Yeah. So head down again, miss, right? Um, and the play. Okay, so if you can go back to, I don't know where you were before. It was in your play. Um, oh, when Jam stepped up, was it Jam or Justice Haynes?
Which one? You talking about play 6?
I think we
This is
were
the next one
showing
you
where
put in.
the no. It was one of your plays that I said I actually put in there too,
Oh,
where the running
Formby
back
25.
stepped up. Yeah.
Jam.
Okay. So I want to be able to give the props to the running back to say that he came up and squared this guy up. Now, my point that I wanted to give about this play was this is where you also got to have trust in your quarterback. Got to have some trust that hey, we're going to pick these up. He should have
Mm-hmm.
went backwards, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He started
Yeah.
to escape
He
too
started to.
fast.
Yep.
Now I know that comes with fear, and you got people starting to come in from everywhere because he didn't even help Formby in this case because he starts
Mm-hmm.
running to the outside of him where the defender's already coming. So what you want from your quarterback is to go straight back. There's guys coming, but he's got a place to throw the ball,
Yeah.
or you can
Jam
get
actually
rid of
knocks
it.
this dude backwards. And
Yes,
then he
Jam
starts
does.
driving him back.
That's a tremendous job, and if that's when we start talking about trust, right? You got to know that he's going to pick up this guy because that pocket could be fine. Hypothetically, if Formby doesn't lose right there, that's going to be a solid pocket. But he starts running a little too quick in my opinion. He didn't even give him a chance. All right. Yeah. See, someone just saying about
Yeah. Am I wrong in
stepping
saying
up
and thinking
or
Jalen we stepping up and talking about these plays? No, no, you're not wrong.
no. Now he did stay in there early.
Mm-hmm.
This is a little bit later, so I think once the pressure started coming, he's like, "Man, I got to get the heck out of here." you know. Um, but anyway, okay. So I just want to make sure that we highlighted that the running back did do a tremendous job. Um, here. Oh yeah. I think you tossed this in here.
I think I
Uh,
did.
you put the two plays in here, and it just I liked it just because you got
Yeah, it was just again just like more pulling and like good things happen when we can actually pull and run gap scheme and we get to the right people, right? When you whiff on those pulls, as we saw in the beginning, it it's almost a disaster sometimes. But when you get guys out here and we get them picked up, right, and we're not missing people, this is, I think I would have called this buck sweep. You, I've, well, I since I coach in high school, I don't see too many centers pulling,
Mhm.
which Wisconsin center does a lot. We got to be very athletic and very good to be able to snap the ball and then go pull.
He does.
Um, but I like this. I think this is designed to go outside. I think it's a sweep, really. But once you actually pick up your blockers, 77 and 72 here, getting
Oh,
out where you're supposed to get to,
but
good things happen.
yes, you know what else good happened, right? Is that is probably not being talked about enough is who's actually at right tackle on these
Mm-hmm.
touchdown plays.
Yeah,
There's a
Christian.
sub. Yes. So um
Somebody had asked. I think I kind of skipped it because I thought the answer was obvious. Trying to scroll back. Oh well, somebody was asking if Pritchett gets the start. I think he was supposed to start from the beginning, but I think I heard somewhere he was hurt. Um,
yeah, well, obviously I'm not there in watching practices, but from the little bit I've heard is that both Pritchard and Caden Proctor were practicing this week. So if you get both of them back full time, that's going to
again,
make
so
a world of difference.
I like I like what 77 is doing here.
Man, that
How
dude's good.
he's taking, he's not just running out there and trying to hit somebody like we were kind of in the beginning of the game. He identifies where he's supposed to go. He sees who his target is, and then
Be an
he
athlete.
starts to stalk block like how we teach receivers. Like, okay, slow down, shuffle, figure it out, get locked
Got it.
on, and then now your running back is just making people miss. You did your job, and now we're gonna go score because of it.
That's right. That's right. So it was good. I think we hit all the points of what USF, by the way, too, on who their guys were. Those two
Mm-hmm.
inside linemen were pretty doggone good. And when we kept them in check, it was pretty good. Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, so
Missing
I just put this
anyone?
on here because number two is pretty good.
It's very good. I was looking at that, but I was also looking at the Oots being
Yeah,
indecisive, not
indecisive
knowing
again.
which one to go
Um,
get.
yeah, I'm not sure. Well, yeah. Well, here's the I guess my coaching point on this is if you're gonna be one, don't be indecisive. If you're gonna pick wrong, like pick wrong and block somebody,
Pick one.
don't be indecisive and then miss both. Um, but I think Milroe kind of knew. Again, your hot routes here. It's like, look, everybody's on a deep ball here. You can't just decide you're not going to run a deep ball. But Milroe knows who is hot here and how he has to get the ball out. So I think this is just all right. I trust my guy. I'm throwing it out there. Um, and Ryan Williams is pretty good. So I just kind of want to highlight what he's doing right now at this age. Right.
It's
Um,
amazing.
Last one here. Again, more pulling, more
I,
doing it right.
so I like to run the ball, brother.
Boom.
I'm more of this than the zone, but
And I thought this was kind of textbook here. You're getting the kick out. There it is, right here. There we go, right here. And then Booker is getting up inside to lead. And when everybody gets who they're supposed to get, we take good angles. We make contact on people. There's a crease.
That's all you need.
Now he doesn't score here, but this is the picture that you're trying to get. When everybody gets their blocks, we down, kick, and lead. Pretty good pickup.
Yes.
Okay. We have QB hit rule from John O. Thank you, sir. No defensive player rushing unabated can hit the quarterback forcibly at or below the knee, nor can they initiate a roll or lunge or forcibly hit the quarterback in the knee area or below. So if you're getting blocked, it's fine. If you're not getting blocked, stay up high. Basically what that is.
Well, I feel like there should have been some flags because I don't know they were getting blocked. But maybe they were.
Okay. Well, these are your clips here. We're going to defense. We got to keep rolling. We are
way over. And these don't have to be much. I think I could talk through a few of these because we're really looking at, after they all get set, the number 2 wide receiver, Red Morgan.
And Kane Womack actually answered some questions in his press conference, or not a press conference, in an interview about these two plays.
Now, I thought this was interesting. First of all, if you just go back just about a second, the wide receivers switched.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed like they're like, oh, hold on, let me get this dude.
Yeah, well, who is this? That guy's number is 47. I think 47 realized, oh, I'm on the slot fade. No, not me.
No.
I'm not on the slot fade.
Yes,
you're on the slot fade.
Okay, so I want to talk about the technique on this, JT.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is that when you're playing in the slot, and we can look at two positions: the corner, both the corners, who actually have their feet moving on the snap, right? Which I like to call the motor technique. So they're actually giving a little bit of ground, where Morgan is flat-footed, planted in the dirt from the beginning. Then he has to lunge with one hand, right? So if you look at the top, they're already kind of turned. So his hips are locked, meaning he doesn't even have any kind of turn. So at this point, right now, he's beat. I mean, it's over.
Yeah,
right?
He's beat. He uses the wrong hand.
Yes.
Now, Coach Womack said that they wanted to force the slot fades to go inside. He said that, I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said it's kind of counterintuitive that you want the slot fade to go inside. But his words were, we noticed that more inaccurate throws happen when the fade is forced to go inside versus outside. And I was like, okay, get it. That's fine. However,
technically it's still bad.
Hand.
Yes,
right.
correct.
The technique is terrible, and he's stuck in cement.
Thank you, Coach Womack, for protecting your player and not putting him out there.
That's what I said in the Discord.
On ice. Okay.
Somebody asked, is he just blowing smoke, or is he right? And I was like, well, I can't tell the DC of his own defense that he's wrong. But it was clearly a statement to protect his freshmen publicly, at least.
That is correct. So you'd want to see more of where you actually stand on top of these guys like the other two guys. And now it just is a foot race. And I don't know, he's as fast as the guy was. So technically, I thought we could just do a little bit better there. You got to open a little bit. Okay. I think this one is really just for me to really kind of show, again, the technique. If you look at the top where he actually ends up throwing the ball, I wanted to see how the feet were actually moving, and he actually, both of the corners, if you look at the bottom. I mean, that's, you're going back, you stick your hand on him, you open at 45. It's pretty good. I don't know why that receiver up top took an outside release, but whatever.
Yeah, he took an outside release 2 yards from the sideline.
That's weird to me. But that was really just for me to show. Now, he missed him again. He was pressed, right? So I think I put a third one in there.
You
and I
did.
think
So
it was
let me
because he.
before you yeah, actually go ahead because
Go ahead.
Coach Womack addressed this play too.
Oh, I don't know what he said, but I just know how it is at corner that after you go deep about 2, 3 times in a row and they're going hurry up and you got to jog back to the line and you catch another go ball. Oh
Yes.
my God. You're like, God dang. You
Yeah,
know,
and that's what he said. He
bro,
said they were going fast. They made a substitution. They thought they didn't have enough time. They were trying to get Zabien off the field. They couldn't, so they gave him another goal ball. He's tired, and I was like, look, I get it, but I don't care. It's 6 points. They don't care. The 6 points is going to be 6 points if he connects on it. If this is Georgia, this is a touchdown.
that's an easy sub for them because it's on their sideline.
Mm-hmm.
And they know how to do it on purpose. And you got a young guy out there or whatever. And I've been on that side where I'm just where you want to tap out, but your pride gets in and you kind of, you want to lay down and take a knee or whatever to act like you're hurt and all that. But the only thing you can do is pray that, man, please run a hitch or call a running play or something and they hit you with a bomb. So he was tired on that one. I know
Yeah.
what it was, and that makes you bad technique. Okay. This one.
I thought you put this on here because of the press technique here and like being able to actually cover up both of these dudes. Because this to
Uh,
me is like a coverage sack.
yes, and I think I wanted to show our lineman actually made some pretty good plays up front, and I really wanted you to see the ability to make moves, counter stuff, which we're going to have to do with against Wisconsin. Um, oftentimes, yes, there is coverage sack, but it's really cool when you got guys that can use your hands up front and just not lock into people because sometimes you can get locked in. So if you look at, uh, again, this is not to point fingers or something like nature, but it's where your rush angles are, right? So we always teach don't go down the middle of the big guy.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at number 51, their right guard, we're trying to go right down the middle of him. You can't. It doesn't work. But when you get on the edge like this, you can make some things happen. Okay. Thank you, Christian. We do appreciate the support and all that. Make sure you come back and bring everybody with you. Okay. Uh, this was just another one of the defensive front. Now this time I'm having a hard time with some of our 3-man fronts, but look at how this time he bullies this dude. I just
Mm-hmm.
talked about going down the middle, but he actually takes a side first and then throws the guy, and it just, it's we're gonna need a lot of that. He had a tremendous game, um, I think. Okay, this would be one of the not so goods.
Yes, but there is good in here because I like what 15 does to this puller. Like I don't know if we're a box team or a spill team, but if we're boxing pullers and this is what you're gonna get, watch out, homie.
Destroy him. Yeah, he killed him, and that's really really good. So what I wanted to talk about was, and you as a defensive coordinator, is the depth of your linebacker.
Yeah,
He's up on the hills. He can't.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah,
see.
he can't run. He needs to back up a little bit so he can go ahead and take the gap because it makes it too easy for that guard. If you guys are looking at that to get to him, he doesn't even have to hardly chip
Mm-hmm.
Tim Keenan. Wait, is it Tim Keenan? To get up on the linebacker. So I just like to see the linebacker back a little bit more so he doesn't get caught up in the trash because he's really got to try to make this play.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, which you're going to see stuff like this against Wisconsin, which we're going to show you as soon as we get to it. All right, what's next?
What's next? That's
Uh,
it. It's time to pay a couple of bills. Talk about Blackfriar. Understand why Big Ray is calling me. So I guess shout out to Big Ray.
nice. Is he in the chat? What? Big Ray? Coach
No,
Ray?
no, yeah, He called me on the phone.
Okay. Shout out to Big Raymond Hardy. The Chosen One Sports. I'm sure he still has it.
Yes, yes, he
Okay.
does. All right. Well,
Give
let's
us
roll
90
these ads.
seconds. This is George Teague, and I'm launching my own text-based coffee talk newsletter. My favorite part of this is that although you get to know me some, I get to share more of myself with you through this newsletter. It's going to come straight to your phone, and I can't wait to share personal stories, the highs and lows of my football journey, my work journey, all the things I'm doing in media, the passions that I have on and off the field. So I'm about inspiring, educating, empowering others through sports and beyond. Head over to joinsubtext.com/George Teague or go to today's show notes to join my newsletter today. Absolutely love it, man. Absolutely love it. Thank you guys again for your sponsorships. Thank you guys for hanging in. No, we showed a lot of film there. Hope you guys appreciate it. Make sure you guys put in your comments, drop it on the YouTube page, and all that kind of stuff if you really like these content and what you're doing. Thank you to Bama Standard and all the viewers from that channel as well. We love being a part and partnering together with them. We just, what Bama Standard does bring you the content, all Alabama content. It seems like all the time, all day, there's something great for you to do that, whether you're watching Teagues Teak or some other show on the Bama Standard. So make sure you hit the subscribe button on their page as well. All right, JT, I want to kind of get into Wisconsin now and just kind of talk about it first before we get into the film. You cool with that?
Yeah. Are you we skipping your other segment you had in there since we're 52 minutes in?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let me write down the timestamp for Michael. Thank you, Michael. This is gonna be a long one. I'm sorry.
Yes. All right. People are like, who the heck is Michael? Who are you talking to? Um, anyway, okay. So Wisconsin, their head coach Luke Fickle, he brings in. He's coming from Cincinnati. They had this air raid offense. He's trying to adjust and change uh, the look of Wisconsin. If I can say that. Wisconsin's known just to be ground and pound kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Uh,
I texted, and I'm gonna say his full name because he's gonna hate this. I'm gonna send it to him. Nana Binion, Kofi Coleman, Sam Johnson. Oh, I already butchered it. Kofi, Sam Coleman. Anyway, whatever.
oh,
He's a Wisconsin fan. And I texted him. I was like, "Hey, this is clearly not your dad's Wisconsin of old, right? This is not the Ron Dane and Monty Ball and Melvin Gordon offenses where they're just gonna have a great back that's gonna run it 40 times a game. They were actually, at least the tape that we got from last game. Did you notice their percentage breakdown run pass?
uh, 60-40. Is that right? Close to
Nope.
that? I don't know what it
50
was.
50,
Oh, yes. Yes.
right
So,
down the middle.
and that's still even surprising to me from the standpoint that they're at even higher pass because
Mm.
I think eventually they're going to try to move to that once they get some receivers who maybe can get a little bit more separation um, from them. So you just got to be careful with that. I got some clips in there that I put in there that how I think they're going to try to get the um, big play off of that. But the offense is not. I'm going to say complicated. We'll show you some of the stuff where I think you're going to get more over routes. It's that air raid stuff where they're trying to, find some mid range and a little bit farther down the field kind of stuff. But they are, as JT said, they are committed to the run. So when you hear air raid, a lot of times you're thinking they're just slinging the ball around. They're still not doing that. They're trying to run the ball and be balanced until they can maybe get to an up tempo, a faster pace game, which they may try to do after this last game with USF. They might try to go a little bit faster because I think it uh, made us struggle a little bit from the defensive side. JT, I think it was a mixture. I would think they would say that they are a 3-3-5 front, or at least an odd front. But there was plenty of four-man
Mhm.
fronts as well, so they kind of look like us in that sense. I think they're just going to try to confuse. I think we'll probably see more of the three-man front and try to confuse Milroe in our line again because they're not going to know which Packers are going to be blitzing because he wants to put some pressure on again. All right.
Yep. O
Okay.
or D first? Which one you want to? Which one you want to hop into first?
Uh, psh, defense.
All right.
Because there ain't much. All right. So let me talk about their defensive guys too. So they have a couple players. Their inside linebacker is pretty good. Number 7, Jaheim Thomas. He's kind of their guy. We got to make sure that we know where he is and what he's doing. He's involved in the pass. He's involved in the blitz. He's one lead tackler. He's pretty good. All right, and then they got a defensive lineman number 92. Uh, his name is Kurt Neal, redshirt sophomore. He's pretty good too. And I think I got a clip of him in here later on. So
Really
this is the three-man
interested in
front
those.
that I wanted you to see. Again, there's nothing special about this play. I just wanted you to see how it looks and then lined up. The zero, JT kind of talked about this a little bit. 0, 4 eyes, and then the backers standing
Yep.
out there. So remember what we were talking about just a minute ago, that you got to figure out who you're gonna block with the linemen. They're responsible for 5 of those guys. So now this is a little bit different box, right? That's 7,
Mm-hmm. Well,
maybe 8.
yeah.
So when you're talking about confusion, now this is where your film comes in. Who are the rushers and who are not? Is it a backer? Is it the safety? Is it something? And this is where it has to be. You're going to have to be pretty well versed in which way you're going to turn your line, right? So they all slid right for their purposes, right?
Yep. And as we said, if you're gonna pull, you're gonna have to touch somebody. 46 needs to figure out where he's gonna go because we can't just leave people in the backfield.
That's right. So we should anticipate the same type of pressures. Now of course, the two teams they played, Western Michigan, South Dakota. Uh, they've held them to 14 points and 13 points. They're not as high powered as we are. Um, but it's the confusion part that you're just going to have to make sure we know who we're going to block,
I
particularly
might
if they
steal
run a
this
slots like
stunt. I
this.
like this.
The
Yeah, because they
going
basically
right and out the run.
they basically end up slanting back to an even front, right? Like right there.
Yes,
It's back to
yes,
a 4-2 essentially, at least by
yeah,
spacing.
yes. Okay, so that was really all on that. I just really wanted you to be able to see that front, and then we're gonna show you another. So this is kind of what the 4-man front kind of looks like. Still got 7 in the box, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
and there's 92 right there. Just
there's number 92.
not great. Not great.
Now the guard or whoever you over is not that great either, but you see this consistently over the film with that number 92 that he's getting in people's face, right? But they still got the 5th man. I guess he's supposed to be blitzing. I don't know the Mike backer there. I don't know what that is, if that's a blitz or if that's a
Yeah, I wonder if he's trying to read out now, or he was trying to figure out whether he had the he was gonna take the back or not. I don't know. Well, maybe he doesn't know what gap he's supposed to be hitting now.
yeah. I don't know. Um, but anyway, that's kind of the guys up front that I think that you have to take a look at. I think this is another one. We're 92. I mean, just look at it. We're gonna have to. We got to block this dude, or
This is 94.
oh yeah, we got to block these interior guys. I'm thinking about what we did last week, right? Again, look at the guy's head when we're talking about dropping your head and all this kind of stuff you can't block like that.
Hey, well, here's the difference between Big Ten and SEC refs.
Throws the flag at the legs or at the head.
No, just 59. This looks like this should be holding. I mean, he gets the sack anyway, but this right here.
Grabbing. Yes. So anyway, we got to be good up front. All right. There's another one. He just scot free. They don't even block the dude.
Yeah, I guess they thought they were going to run away from him.
You know, so they're not very exotic, JT. There's not.
Well, you know what I noticed?
Too much.
And I don't know. I would like to see this over the course of more games, but I notice this a lot since I am responsible for our safeties, and we're always talking about run fits and how we need to like help fit in the box. And I just don't feel like we get that from Wisconsin's defensive backs. It seems like that's just not what they do.
Yeah.
They are, which to me is like, hey, look, if we're gonna be good enough and like get past the linebackers, like they're gonna have some problems. We're not getting to the ball in the back end. We're kind of sitting and watching and just kind of, this looks like what you do in practice.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And now if you continue watching this film, they did create some creases where they got some yardage gained on them through it, which I think we're going to be able to exploit with those gap schemes. I'm not even sure if this is just another one.
Yeah, this is just a blown blitz pickup.
And my only point was not necessarily how great this is what you're saying. That if you don't know who you're supposed to block, your quarterback just is going to be in trouble. And that's where we got to be smart. Because if you go back to the beginning, when we were talking about counting, there are 7 people potentially who could rush, depending if they're counting number 12
right.
or not.
And they're so this is one of the ones to go back to hey, okay. Hold on. First, Justin, you got to turn him down to either conservative or moderate. I think you got him on aggressive right now. You're not the only person that said this. And Keith Holcomb is not watching on our channel, I don't think. I think he's on yours.
They're making a killing over there on Bama Standard, man. That's true. And
question though. He did have a question. Are they susceptible to the run are they as susceptible to the run as we're being led to believe?
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. I think our gap schemes will be able to find some gaps.
He said he had conservative. That's the thing. Yeah. YouTube's trying to milk everybody for all they're worth right now.
They will. So yes, I do think that we'll have a big rushing day with them. I do think we'll have a good throwing day too, but definitely with the rushing. I think if you control number 7, get him blocked, we're going to be okay. So I don't think they're that flashy. I don't think they're that fast. They got some good guys up front. They can cause some havoc, but schematically in the way that we're running the ball, I think we'll be more successful than we have been, or just as successful, and hopefully we just start a little bit faster. JT getting fancy, showing all the little buttons over there. Okay. This is to their O now?
Yes.
All right.
I think I put 2 clips in here. I think these are the first 2 are probably mine. Just a little bit of what they do. So I'm calling this belly. If there's any wing T guys or single wing or double wing guys in here that do this, I don't know much about the Buck series and the belly series, but I did see what I would consider part of the Buck series and part of the belly series from here, and the rest I thought was some kind of mix of inside zone and outside zone from Wisconsin. But I kind of just put this one in here because I was looking for like, what did they get big plays on? And keep in mind, when I selected these, you can tell that I kind of did these sequentially, right? Because I picked another play where somebody's coming across formation and getting a kick out block.
You
But
know what I
has a
like?
vertical seam.
You know what I know you like that, but you know what I like more, and you already alluded to it. It's the doggone center. His center is the
Mm-hmm.
guy that makes his. He's pulling a lot, right? And
Yeah,
so
he is.
they're blocking
And
back,
I spent a
folding,
lot of
and
time
pulling.
looking at his footwork, the skip pull. You know, he's not
Yes,
turning and going. He's got a drop step. He kicks, slides
he's
over, picks up his
patient, he's
man.
straight, he's on it, and he gets after folks, and he finishes. So you have stuff like this, and this is maybe you run it back again because I think a lot of the fronts that South Dakota was running look similar to ours, our
Mm-hmm.
box. So the plays are probably going to look similar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Copycat league. If someone do it, they see some success. This could be one of ours. We have 4-man front, you shade 3. You know, maybe they audible to it. Most people don't try to pull their center,
Yep, but we do,
but we do because they
and they
know if that
do.
end's going to step down, hey, go around and get the end. That's
Yeah,
not the
and
normal
you don't
way
really
to.
get, you don't necessarily tip this guy off because it's not his guard that's pulling, right? He's got to be. You got to start keying the center, which you're not usually taught from day one. Maybe you can game
Different.
plan that in, but changing keys are hard to do. Um, but I was also kind of looking at, okay, if I were to see this, what do I tell if I'm the defense coordinator here for South Dakota? Um, what am I telling our guys here? I like the end is trying to work in here. I think 57 does a good job of just sealing and making this block. Um, but this guy here, I think he takes the wrong, as we were talking about, half a man. He attacks the wrong half of the man. He goes outside.
And they got the guy right outside of him.
Right. You build this wall and you're okay. So for us, for Alabama, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, this is fine. If we're in a front like this, is this a problem? Like, do I mark this down as, hey, we got to look at clip 22 because this is a problem, not necessarily schematically, but it's tough for us to defend. I don't think it's tough for us to defend. I think it's just you got to get one guy from having his head out here to having his head in here, and you have a free tackler if you get this to bounce. But they don't do that. And
Okay.
when you don't do that, there's creases.
Okay, last thing before we go to the next one. If you run that all the way back to the beginning, and as you get ready to pull up this read that I need you to do before we go to the next play, right here at this point, you kind of got a couple gaps to the right. I feel like you could almost run a play to the right
Mm-hmm.
where you could kick up, you could double team up to the linebacker with the tight end and tackle, uh, and the sniffer back could go out and block out, and you kind of got something going on to the right here. So you got to be. It just we're talking about going to the left, but this is almost we're they're outflanked in either direction. Looks like to me. Okay, before we go to the next play, can you get a little love to Titan Texas,
Yeah,
please?
Titan Texas is the North Texas chapter of the University of Alabama National Alumni Association. Their mission is to provide an opportunity for Alabama alumni, family, and friends to meet one another to promote fellowship and build awareness around the University of Alabama. Um, the Titan Texas chapter was voted the chapter of the year in 2016 and 2019, and they are your home for all Crimson Tide related news and events here in the North Texas area. They are inviting all Alabama alumni, fans, and friends to join them for all their events, including volunteering to be an officer, working on committees, attending watch parties, and community service. Titan Texas is, we want to thank Titan Texas for being a sponsor of Teagues Take. And if you want to find out more about them, visit TitanTexas.com.
That's right. That's right. And don't forget about the event this weekend, Saturday at Blackfire, Titan, Texas, sponsoring free breakfast tacos starting at 9:30 a.m. I'm going to be in the house, down in the house, showing some love, watching the game with everybody, and doing some things. So, thank you guys once again for helping us get some of this data Yeah.
Jackson Lindauer. I'm sorry. Jackson Lindauer. Let me try that again. Super chat 499. Thank you. We appreciate it a lot. He asked, a UGA channel said our O line shouldn't be pulling as often. Quote, they're maulers. They're not necessarily who you want out in space. I disagreed. Thoughts?
I 100% disagree. I understand the maulers, and you just want to go straight ahead sometime. But I do know those big guys do love to try to pull because a lot of times people don't see you coming.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a different kind of maul when you get a hit him in the ear hole. I guess you can't literally say that anymore. But when you get a catch
Well,
it from a side and catch some angles, those are
because
pretty fierce blocks.
we do pimp ourselves out for donations like this. I do want to go back to. Oh, this is the full game. I want our offensive.
Alabama's offense.
Yes, Alabama's offense because we had a clip, right? So this is what I would do. This is what I would say. If I can go back and find where it was, play 78, maybe.
Pullers. Bang.
Yeah, it was 79. Yeah. So look at this back angle. Again, we're talking about 77 here. I would show this clip and say, tell me this is not a dude you want in space. This is like what do we mean? He's out here, he's on a corner, he still squares him up. Like that's a great job.
That gets you in the first round, buddy. You start hitting little guys out in space.
Yeah, and you're not whiffing out here.
You
You got a good base. Like, yeah, no, I disagree.
I disagree.
It's not mutually exclusive. You can still be a mauler and be out in space. You can do both.
Yes, and it's a philosophical difference on what do you like between gap schemes and zone schemes, right? I would say most of the time in our history, I think we have been gap scheme type of people. Now, maybe of late we've ran more zone and things of that nature, but is there's to me there's just more. Hmm, I guess you can debate that. I just like the pullers in the gaps, the counters, the traps, the stuff because they're quick hitters, but they're very physical plays as well. So that's a great question, Jackson. Thank you for their contribution to the show and getting a great question in. And quit listening to UGA. Just come on, back over here.
Okay, we gotta get to the offense. We're at an hour 12. I guess I shouldn't say that because anyway.
It's not bad.
But I'm saying we're gonna cut this up so that we can catch the people who aren't here with us live. But I don't know if you're watching this, if you are from Wisconsin, or this is your first video seeing us on Teagues Take. We have a live show and we are 1 hour and 12 minutes into the live show right now, even though this is probably 10 minutes into the video that you're watching. So come check us out on Wednesdays at 8:15 every week until through the national championship game. There we go. Right. Paying our own bills. Let's let's go forward into Wisconsin's offense. Oh, we were already there. I'm sidetracked. Here we go. Let's continue into Wisconsin's offense.
All right. Let me see.
You the wide angle on this.
Let me see. You keep flipping around on my plays.
Oh, this is mine, I think.
No, I think it's route concept. I wanted you to see the deep overs and the crossing routes, and maybe we both picked it. But the X, who's cut, if you guys know what that means. So it's narrow split by the guy down here at the bottom, which typically tells you he's going deep over to the other side. And then the wide receiver, I think it's the one off the ball, actually comes across the other way. So man beaters try to get you a little bit of rub and things of that nature, trying to hit you in the soft spot, running away from people. I think we'll see some of this. There's actually this slot guy at the top or a guy on the ball. So they decided to pass this off. I don't know if we're going to try to do that or if we're going to run with the guys. But I think they saw enough on film that it was like, hey, stay back there. He just didn't do a good job at the top.
Yeah, I have I hope that we're not giving him like this much time to do this. I mean, because this dude, he's on the top of the numbers. The guy who catches the ball, he's on the top of the numbers and catches it on the opposite sideline.
Yes, and he goes under, climbs up.
Yeah, like there's just so much time. So I'm um, hopeful, and I don't think that we're gonna give him that much time. But
Well, no, I agree, but so I need to make sure that you guys are aware of who number 10 is, right? So that's Tyler Van Dyke,
mhm.
transfer from Miami. Talented, got a good arm. He's going to make you pay if you making mistakes back there in the deal. Yeah, I don't think he's going to miss as many throws that Byron missed last time if
Mhm.
the guy's kind of open. Pretty consistent there. But what I like about him for us is he's not that running threat
Right.
at all. So hopefully our speed can keep him in the pocket and not let him do this. And we don't have to worry about him being yeah, 2 sacks. I think we can use our athleticism. All right, so all
Yeah.
right,
Look at
I
that.
put this in here
Yeah.
because this is what they're gonna have to do to try to beat us. I think tricky. I need a fancy little word. Little trickery. How about that? This happens quite a bit. So I put this in here and look like quarterback run, but it isn't. If you look at the wide receiver at the top, this is a design play. And it made me worry a little bit because JT, we play where we're looking in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Eyes, and this will look like run. The offensive lineman did one heck of a job of selling run. So your free safety is going to come screaming down because they're actually firing off the ball. They're not getting downfield. Maybe a little bit by this one guy now here. I think he blocks a little. I don't know if that's a tight end or whatever. He's blocking about 5 yards down the field. Refs might miss that, but the
No, he didn't
point
actually
is,
touch anybody, right? So do you
yeah,
get
because
a
you got
legal man
little.
downfield if he's an eligible receiver?
No, you don't. You're right. So this is a well-designed play to try to get someone open. So we're going to have to be conscious of plays like that. Couple things on this one I wanted you to
Uh,
see.
real
Go
quick.
ahead.
Justin says South Dakota is good, always in the championship hunt in FCS, almost as strong as North Dakota State. I want to say there's only one part that I kind of disagree with here. Um, the best two schools in FCS, I think, right now are both in South Dakota. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Hmm. Okay. All right. All right. So I put this in for a route combination. I might have put it in there twice and one on each side. Slade Bolden was talking to us about this. If you look at the bottom, this is an empty set. The number 3 wide receiver, I believe it is, kind of takes this little hop, skip, step, and he's just really trying to. He's going to go inside or outside
Did we get a
based
sack
upon the
here? Is that
alignment.
what happened?
They did get a sack. I wanted you to see the route first.
Oh, okay. Well, let me go
Um,
back. Let me go back.
right? Because I think we'll get some of this, particularly in the way we play. And they did this multiple times during this game, um, where that I mean it's different, right? So he's just going to look for leverage. If Van Dyke gets the ball out on time, they probably complete this. It really made me think of when Slade Bolden was talking to us about this because he ran this in the Georgia game. If you remember him tell us about that, and then you make the guy miss and he runs it in for a touchdown. Um, Now, their offensive line, now you can kind of look to see what kind of happened. I think he held the ball too long. I think their weakest spot on the offensive line would be on the outside, their right tackle. Um, I mean,
Oh,
you don't
this is the
necessarily see
play.
it
This is
on
actually the
this.
play I was talking about. Of like when we were talking about whether you can get the QB's legs or not. And
This
I
one's
saw
legal.
this and I was like, wait,
This one will be legal by the rule, right? Because he's
yeah, I
considered getting
guess.
blocked. Yeah. Um, so, but he probably should have got rid of the ball already.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I wanted you to see that. There's nothing big there on that other than them making the sack. Okay, excuse me. All right, another passing play. Uh,
So much time.
you
So
see how much time he got?
So much time. How long
That's
is this
really
clip?
it.
This is
So their passing
this is a
grade,
19-second clip.
yeah,
Almost 20 seconds.
their pass blocking grade as a overall unit is really, really good. They're just solid. They're patient. He's got all day to sit there and throw the ball, which that's a problem for DBs because
Mm-hmm.
you got to match up and you got to chase guys and you got to figure, you got to plaster on them. So they did a good job here. And this is 3 man. So a lot of the times we were only rushing 3. I don't know that we're going to be able to just rush 3 and get to him
No, I
because
mean,
of how good they are.
yeah.
I know we got some dudes, but this is a veteran offensive line. And I feel like we're going to need to have to bring some pressure on with them. All right. Did y'all see what happened right
Yeah, I was
here?
gonna say, did I put this one on here or did you?
I did. Flea flicker. Another trickerickery. That's my word of the day. Hand it off, throw it back. I think he threw it too fast. That he didn't really sell the handoff, but they were trying to take a deep shot. It didn't work. It was just a matter of me showing you what
I feel like they did this
happened.
twice.
They did. I
Okay,
think I,
because I was
I
gonna
think I
say,
got
because
the,
I was gonna
I
say
think I
this is
got the
not
other
the.
one on there too. I got the other one on there too.
No, this is the last clip that's on here because I was thinking the other one they completed.
They did. They did complete the other one. Oh, maybe I missed it. But anyway, they threw a flea flicker multiple times in the same game. So you had 2 flea flickers. You had the roll out, stutter, and go. There's a lot of different things that they're trying to do to get these guys open. I think when you're doing that, you just know you can't get your guys open. So um, maybe they feel different based upon what they saw last week. So I think we still get a heavy dose of run because we got to shore that up. And if we start getting a lot of people up in the box to try to stop the run, we're going to be on the island out here with our young corners, and they got to be ready for the tricks um, because they're going to try to throw some over their head. All right, that's all I got on Wisconsin. I think it's going to be a good game. I still think we win um, big. I still think that it's not as close as some think. I think the line has moved from us being a 6.5 point favorite to about 16 and a half. I
Oh
think.
yeah, I saw it at 16. When you said 6, I was like, oh, did I misread?
I think it started and then it moved, and I think we're surpassed that. I still think we beat them by 3 touchdowns or more. I still think we score 41 points on them, and I think we hold them to 17 points. So
Okay. So just to follow up on the Bama Discord, the question is for this week, um, what what does Bama win by, and how many yards rushing does Wisconsin have?
okay, I think we win by do my math there. What is that? 24 points. All right. Yes. And how many yards Wisconsin has
Rushing. I'm
rushing?
submitting this as what you're saying. I'm submitting as my answer in the Discord. I'll let you know if you win or not.
Well, do you agree? I guess with the 24 points, maybe we'll just start with that, or do you think more or less? I said
Um,
24. Three touchdowns and a field goal.
I say less, but that's fine.
Okay. And rushing yards, I think we get frustrated a little bit again on the rushing yards. I think they have 173 yards rushing. How about that for a number?
173 yards rushing for Wisconsin. All right.
Um, I think they just put some drives together. In that, I'd hate to have a 200-yard rushing day given up, but I just think that looking at the way it matches up, unless we do something different. I mean, how many did Byron have on his own as a quarterback last week?
Oh, I can't remember.
It was over 100. I can
Yeah.
look it up. You know, now you don't have that threat of a running back with or
Yeah,
quarterback like
quarterback.
that.
Yeah.
Um, but their running back, Chaz Malusi. I'm not sure if that's how you say that. Number one, he's actually the backup running back. He's their leading rusher right now. He doesn't have a whole lot of rushing yards. Two games he only has 134 yards rushing. But their starter, uh, Tawi, I'm not sure if that's the. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but Mr. Walker, he was hurt. He's a transfer from OU,
Mm.
right? The running back from there. Right now, he didn't play this last game, and it's unclear at this point on this Wednesday right now whether or not he's going to play or not. So my numbers might change a whole lot. If this guy doesn't play again, then you're going to have the backup running back in, um, who may or may not do as well. Then we're probably going to have to worry about their wide receiver, who's pretty good. Will Pauling, number 6. He's their wide receiver that transferred in from Cincy. Okay. All right. So there we
Yeah.
go.
Okay. Let me write that timestamp down because we do have a couple of questions. Salik J asked a question. And while we're answering that question, for all of you who have made it or have stuck around for an hour and 26 minutes, I do want to give some time for you to throw some extra questions in the chat for us to just answer and have a little reward here for you guys sticking with us. The first one we have, well, the only one we have right now, is George. How would you coach up the freshman Red Morgan for that, or for the past 2 games have let wide receiver continuously get behind him in coverage?
Great question. Salik, thank you for the question. And I think that the first thing I'm going to do is I think it's the basis of actually how to play press because a lot of this has happened. And um, making sure he's moving his feet. So we always talk about not having your feet stuck in sand or in the concrete. Um, and right now his feet are just heavy, so he's got to be able to get his feet hot a little bit, and then teach him to open up his hips. One thing that I learned from Mike Zimmer and every other coach is don't have your hips locked when you're getting ready to press. And when we're watching him press, he's kind of reaching and not jamming. So that's the first thing that I would do. All
Okay.
right. I saw something from Germany there, man.
Yeah, Tobias. Tobias, thanks. I don't know if you're still watching us. I know it is super early for you right now, so I appreciate it. Um, Hamilton Presnell. Sorry.
Personal.
Um, do you think we will continue to rotate our DBs like we have for the past 2 games? Yes,
Mm,
yes, I do. Um, I think there's a reason. I think people are continually trying them deep anyway, just because they're young. So I mean, especially now that you put it on tape, like, yeah, they're gonna run you deep. They're gonna try you.
yes. And I think so. I still think there's some competition going on too. Honestly, with that to see how this is going to
Mm.
be played out through the end of the year. But it's good when you have more people with experience and playing time because we didn't talk about it because we didn't have the pursuit to recruit. But this still is always a recruiting deal. The more you can get these guys playing,
Mm-hmm.
less likely that they are to leave.
Yes.
So they need to get film because they want to get to the league as well. And so they need to play. And if you can rotate everybody in, keep them happy, that's good. All right.
Julian Rivera and D kind of have the same question here. Um, in a sense, Wisconsin has a really good secondary. Do you think our receivers will get open frequently? And then D asks, any thoughts on our receivers' ability to win vertically, particularly outside of Ryan?
I think number 5, drawing a blank on the name.
Jeremy Bernard.
Jeremy. Yeah. I think we're gonna start to see more of him getting more action in this. You got Ryan Williams, who is definitely a vertical threat. I still just think he's still going to be taking those shots, but I think that's going to start to open up other things, shorter the mid range throws for um, Jeremy and Kendrick Law. Kendrick Law's fast, man. They ain't really
Yeah.
running him deep just yet. trying to get him on the screens, get the ball in his hand and all this kind of stuff. But I think this has all kind of been of a setup with that. Do I think they can get vertical on these guys? Uh, I don't even know if that's necessary. I think vertical to me is going to be middle of the field behind the linebackers. I think there's going to be some voids there where we need to throw the ball.
Yeah, the only thing I would add is I saw quite a bit of cover 3, and those corners are just bailing.
Yes,
which is always tough. So can they get open vertically? Yeah, if they're going to press and play man to man, and they're going to press up like USF did, I think you can. It's just much more difficult when you have a corner that's responsible for deep third and he's bailing. That doesn't mean that they can't get vertical. It just means that the technique being played against them is designed to not let that happen. Right.
Take what you can get. Take what you can get. Be patient.
Mm-hmm. Marcus Cantrell asks, I believe that Wilkin Formby will be a great offensive lineman, but do you think he is this year's version of Proctor from last year? I think he probably can be a great lineman. I don't know that you'll see. I don't know that he's going to be like the guy like in 1 year's time, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know. Who am I to say that he can't, like, what his ceiling is in a calendar year?
Yeah, I think there's high aspirations for him, and like I said, most of this stuff is just technical, and you kind of get thrown into a situation where you're hurt and maybe you're not all the way ready yet. But now that you have this and knowing that you're playing at Bama, you're going to work on these things. We're talking about crossing over, dropping your head. These are all the things that are easily fixed. So I do think he's going to be a good offensive lineman for us. It just takes some time and some more reps like this. All right.
Last one, and then we'll get out of here. Do you think having Hitchler on staff gives us an advantage?
I don't know.
I'm going to say no, I do not. He was a co-DC at Wisconsin last year. Just because you know how the defense works doesn't mean you really know what the game plan is. No, not really. I don't believe that.
Yeah, and I asked that.
Never mind. I'll make that joke off air.
But
we'll have some very angry fans in the comment or in the comment section.
Okay. Well, the point I was going to make, I actually asked this question in the pros when coaches coach against someone who they might have had on their staff or something else. Do they worry about things like that? And every coach that I've asked about that, and this was as of last year when I did this, it was no, they weren't concerned at all. They said there were a couple of things they might have to be conscious of if they use the same type of hand signal or something where someone might be looking. But as you said, they don't really know what you're trying to get to. They may be looking to, see if they can get some kind of tell. But if you're conscious that, hey, I can't say it this way, I can't use this hand gesture or whatever that I've been using forever or something that, which people probably know anyway. And with the way things are in their ears and all this kind of stuff now, it's harder to pick up on that kind of stuff.
I just want to put this comment up here just because this dude's name has me singing the damn Burger King commercial in my head right now. So I appreciate you for that. I can't. He says the problem I see is we struggle with the 6-man rush. We did with Formby in the game. I don't know that will continue to happen once our guys are healthy. But
hopefully we'll see this week.
Great avatar, great name. Thanks for getting the Whopper song stuck in my head.
Whopper with cheese, baby. No onion, cut in half. And give me them French fries and a Diet Coke, and I'm going to be good with that. And so we're going to call it a night. Man, thank you all for everything. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you come see us next week. Same time, same place. The film is coming to you. We love you guys. Thank you for the donations. Deuces. That's the Teagues.